Welcome to a new video. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good. These things are real. Scientists discovered these 10 unbelievable things on Earth, and number 1 looks completely fake. Number 1 is the Painted Mountains of China. A journey to Rainbow Mountain, *. There's a place on Earth that looks less like reality, and more like a dream painted across the land. Hidden within the vast landscapes of northwestern China lies a natural wonder so surreal, it feels almost fictional. Layers of crimson, gold, emerald, and amber stretch across the mountains like brushstrokes on a canvas. This is Rainbow Mountain, a place where geology becomes art. But these colors weren't created overnight. Millions of years ago, this land was covered by ancient seas and shifting tectonic plates. Minerals settled, sandstone formed, and over time, the Earth slowly compressed these layers into vibrant bands of color. Then came wind, rain, and sunlight, nature's final touch, carving the mountains into the flowing patterns we see today. Standing here, it's hard not to feel small. The silence is vast, the air is thin, and the colors, almost impossibly vivid, seem to change with every passing moment. At sunrise, the mountains glow softly, like embers waking from sleep. By midday, they blaze with intensity. And at sunset, they transform into something truly otherworldly. This isn't just a destination. It's a reminder of time, of patience, transformation, and the quiet power of nature. Every stripe tells a story that spans millions of years, yet we only get a fleeting moment to witness it. So if you ever find yourself searching for a place that doesn't feel real, remember, somewhere in China, the mountains are still painting themselves. And the masterpiece is never the same twice. Number 2 is the bioluminescent beaches. When the ocean glows. The magic of bioluminescent beaches, *. There are places in this world where the night doesn't fall into darkness, it begins to glow. Along certain shores, when the sun disappears and the sky turns black, the ocean comes alive in a way that feels almost impossible. Every wave that crashes, every step in the sand, every movement in the water ignites a shimmer of electric blue light. This is the phenomenon of bioluminescence, a natural light show created not by humans but by life itself. Tiny organisms called phytoplankton drift in these waters. Invisible by day, they hold a hidden power. When disturbed, by waves, by fish, or even by your own footsteps, they emit flashes of light. A defense mechanism, scientists say. But to the human eye, it feels like magic. Imagine standing at the edge of the sea. You take a step forward, and suddenly the water glows beneath you. Each ripple becomes a streak of neon blue, stretching into the darkness. It's as if the stars above have fallen into the ocean, and now move with every tide. Places like Vadu Island, home to the famous Sea of Stars, or the glowing shores near Mosquito Bay, one of the brightest bioluminescent bays on Earth, draw travelers from around the world chasing this surreal experience. But what makes it even more special is how fleeting it is. The glow depends on the right conditions, temperature, tides, and the presence of these microscopic organisms. Some nights, the ocean remains dark. On others, it transforms into a living galaxy. And maybe that's the beauty of it. You can't control it. You can't predict it perfectly. You simply have to be there, waiting, hoping, watching. Because when it happens, when the waves begin to glow and the shoreline lights up beneath your feet, you're not just looking at the ocean anymore. You're witnessing one of nature's quietest, most extraordinary performances. A reminder that even in the darkest places, light can come alive. Third one is Welwitschia mirabilis, the immortal plant of the desert. In one of the harshest places on Earth, where temperatures soar and rain is almost non-existent, life finds a way to endure. This is the story of Welwitschia mirabilis, a plant so strange, so resilient, that it seems almost otherworldly. At first glance, it doesn't look like much. Just a tangled mass of long, shredded leaves lying low against the desert floor. But don't be fooled, this plant is a true survivor. Welwitschia mirabilis grows in the Namib Desert, one of the oldest and driest deserts on the planet. Here, water is scarce, and survival is a daily challenge. Yet this plant has mastered the art of endurance. Unlike most plants, Welwitschia produces only 2 leaves for its entire life. These leaves never stop growing. Over time, wind and sand tear them into ribbons, giving the plant its wild, chaotic appearance. But the most astonishing part? It can live for over 1,000 years. Yes, some of these plants were already alive when ancient civilizations were just beginning to rise. So how does it survive? Instead of relying on rain, Welwitschia draws moisture from fog drifting in from the Atlantic Ocean. Tiny droplets collect on its leaves and travel down to its roots, just enough to keep it alive in an unforgiving environment. It's not just a plant. It's a living fossil, a relic of a distant past, still holding its ground against time, heat, and desolation. Welwitschia mirabilis reminds us that life doesn't need comfort to thrive. Sometimes, all it takes is resilience and time. In a world constantly changing, this ancient plant stands as proof that survival isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Fourth one is Frozen Bubble S, the magic of frozen bubbles. On a quiet winter day, when the air turns sharp and the world slows down, something magical begins to happen. A simple bubble, light, fragile, almost weightless, floats into the freezing air. For a moment, it dances. Then, it transforms. As temperatures drop below freezing, the delicate film of the bubble begins to crystallize. Tiny ice patterns spread across its surface, growing like frost on a window. It's not random. Each crystal forms with precision, branching, expanding, creating patterns that look like feathers, snowflakes, or distant galaxies. In just seconds, the bubble becomes something entirely new. A frozen sphere of art. But this beauty doesn't last forever. The same fragility that makes it mesmerizing also makes it fleeting. A gentle breeze, a touch, or even time itself can cause it to shatter into shimmering fragments. Gone in an instant, frozen bubbles remind us of something deeper. That even the most delicate things can hold extraordinary beauty. That transformation can happen in the blink of an eye. And that sometimes, the most magical moments are the ones that don't last. In the stillness of winter, nature creates art, only for those patient enough to watch. A bubble, a breath, a moment frozen in time. Fifth one is axolotl, the eternal youth of the axolotl. In the quiet waters of ancient lakes, hidden beneath the surface, lives a creature that seems to defy nature itself. Meet the axolotl. With its soft smile, feathery gills, and delicate movements, it looks almost unreal, like something imagined rather than born. But its true magic lies beneath the surface. Unlike most creatures, the axolotl refuses to grow up. While others transform and leave their juvenile forms behind, the axolotl stays the same, forever. A phenomenon known as neoteny, where it keeps its youthful traits for its entire life. But that's only the beginning. Lose a limb, and it grows back. Damage its heart, it repairs itself. Even parts of its brain can regenerate. It doesn't just survive, it rebuilds. Scientists around the world study this incredible ability, hoping to unlock secrets that could one day change medicine as we know it. But the axolotl's story is not just one of wonder. In the wild, it lives in only one place, what remains of the ancient lakes of Xochimilco. And today, that world is disappearing. Pollution, urban expansion, and invasive species threaten its fragile home. A creature that has mastered survival for millions of years, now faces its greatest challenge. Us. The axolotl is more than just a curiosity of nature. It's a symbol of resilience, of mystery, and of a delicate balance we are only beginning to understand. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary life forms are also the most vulnerable. And their survival may depend on ours. And sixth one is Darvaza Gas Crater, the door to hell. In the heart of the desert, where silence stretches endlessly and the ground hides its secrets, there is a fire that never goes out. This is the Darvaza Gas Crater. A massive pit of flames, burning day and night, glowing against the darkness like something from another world. But this wasn't always here. In 1971, during a Soviet drilling operation, the ground beneath a gas field suddenly collapsed, opening a crater filled with natural gas. Fearing the release of toxic fumes, scientists made a decision. They set it on fire. The plan was simple: let it burn for a few days, and it would be gone. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. And now, decades later, it is still burning. A fire that refuses to die. The crater stretches over 70 meters wide, its walls glowing with thousands of small flames, each one feeding on the gas beneath the earth. Stand near it, and you can feel the heat. Hear the roar. See the air itself shimmer. It feels alive. A reminder of the power hidden beneath our feet, and the consequences of disturbing it. The Darvaza Gas Crater is not just a geological wonder. It's a story of human ambition, of unexpected consequences, and of a fire that turned a mistake into one of the most haunting sights on Earth. In the middle of the desert, where nothing should burn forever, the flames still rise. Seventh one is Socorta Island, the alien island on Earth. Far out in the Arabian Sea, isolated from the rest of the world for millions of years, lies a place that doesn't feel like Earth at all. This is Socotra Island, a land where nature followed its own rules, creating life forms found nowhere else on the planet. Walk across its landscape, and you'll see trees that look like they belong on another world. Like the iconic dragon blood tree, with its umbrella-shaped crown and deep red sap, once believed to be the blood of dragons. Or strange, bottle-shaped plants rising from the rocky ground, storing water to survive in harsh, dry conditions. Nearly a third of Socotra's plant life exists nowhere else on Earth. It's a living laboratory of evolution, untouched, isolated, and extraordinary. But this island is more than just strange beauty. It's fragile. Climate change, development, and human impact are beginning to reach even this remote paradise. And the balance that took millions of years to create could be lost in a fraction of that time. Socotra Island reminds us of something powerful. That Earth still holds places we barely understand. Places that feel alien, yet are deeply connected to our planet's history. Because sometimes, the most unbelievable worlds are the ones we already live on. Eighth one is the underwater waterfall illusion. At the edge of a tropical paradise, where turquoise waters meet the deep blue of the ocean, something impossible appears to happen. A waterfall, beneath the sea. Off the coast of Mauritius, this breathtaking sight looks as if the ocean itself is pouring into a hidden abyss, like water falling into the depths below. But what you're seeing isn't exactly real. There is no true waterfall underwater. Instead, it's an illusion, one created by nature's perfect design. Beneath the surface lies a steep underwater drop-off. Sand and silt are constantly pulled downward by ocean currents, flowing over the edge like liquid. From above, this movement creates the stunning visual of a cascading waterfall beneath the waves. It's not gravity pulling water down. It's currents moving sand. And yet, the illusion is so powerful, so convincing, that it feels almost magical. A reminder that nature doesn't just create beauty, it creates illusions that challenge how we see the world. The underwater waterfall of Mauritius is proof that sometimes what we believe we're seeing is only part of the story. Ninth one is tardigrade. The creature that refuses to die. The secret life of tardigrades, asterisk. There is a creature on this planet, so small, you could walk past millions of them and never even know they exist. And yet, it might be one of the toughest life forms Earth has ever created. Meet the tardigrade, often called the water bear. A microscopic organism with a plump body, 8 tiny legs, and a face that almost looks strangely familiar. But don't let its size fool you. Because this tiny being can survive the impossible. Boiling heat, freezing cold near absolute zero, crushing pressure deep in the ocean, even the vacuum of space. When conditions become too extreme, the tardigrade does something extraordinary. It shuts down, curling into a dehydrated state known as a ton. It slows its metabolism to almost zero, waiting, sometimes for years, even decades, until the environment becomes safe again. And when it does, it comes back to life. Scientists have sent tardigrades into space, exposing them to radiation and the emptiness beyond Earth. And somehow, they survived. Not just alive, but thriving. So what makes them so powerful? Inside their tiny bodies are unique proteins that protect their DNA, repairing damage that would destroy most other forms of life. It's a biological shield, one that scientists are still trying to understand. Because if we can unlock their secret, it could change everything, from medicine to space travel. But perhaps the most fascinating part of the tardigrade is what it represents. In a world where survival often seems fragile, this microscopic creature reminds us of something extraordinary. Life finds a way. Even in the harshest, most unforgiving corners of existence, it endures. Quietly, patiently, unbreakably. And somewhere, right now, a tardigrade is waiting. 10th one is Rafflesia arnoldii. The flower that smells like death. The mystery of Rafflesia arnoldii, asterisk. Deep within the rainforests of Southeast Asia, where sunlight barely touches the forest floor, something extraordinary waits in silence. No leaves, no stems, no roots, just a presence hidden. And then, without warning, it appears. A massive bloom bursts from the jungle floor, its thick, red petals spreading wide like something alive. White spots cover its surface, and at its center, a dark, hollow chamber. This is Rafflesia arnoldii, the largest single flower on Earth. But it's not its size that makes it unforgettable. It's the smell, a powerful, unmistakable odor, like rotting flesh. The scent drifts through the forest, attracting flies and carrion beetles, the very insects that help it survive. To them, this isn't a flower. It's a signal, a promise of decay, and that's the secret of Rafflesia. It doesn't grow like other plants. It lives hidden inside a host vine, stealing nutrients, remaining invisible for most of its life. Months, sometimes years, pass before a single bud begins to form. And when it finally blooms, it lasts only a few days. A brief, dramatic appearance, before it collapses back into nothing. No trace, no warning, just gone. Scientists still struggle to fully understand it. A parasite that behaves like a ghost. A flower that doesn't act like one. A life cycle that feels almost unreal. And maybe that's what makes it so fascinating. In a world obsessed with constant growth and visibility, Rafflesia exists in extremes, long periods of silence, followed by a short, unforgettable moment. It doesn't compete for attention. It waits. And when the time is right, it becomes impossible to ignore. A reminder that even in the darkest corners of the earth, something rare, strange, and powerful is quietly preparing to bloom. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. For the latest update, press the bell icon.